Hey guys, it's Sarah Schneider with NourishYourLife.org and the Nourish Mama. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If you are new to me or new to the group, I'm a holistic nutritionist and I help mamas reset, heal, and nourish so that they can have lasting and sustainable weight loss. So, if you have noticed in the Nourish Mama group today, I put out two different polls. The very first poll is on what the next mini series is going to be about, the topics, the theme, whatever you want to call it, right? And this is important because as much as I am the admin of the group and providing some guidance and inspiration, this is your community, and I want this to be something that benefits you. So on that poll has four different options for the mini series. If you have any other ideas, go ahead and put those in the comment section. I'll be more than excited to look over those because we'll have different mini series over the next few months, and I'll just kind of choose based on how many people select each one, right? So go ahead and fill that out. Also, book club. We haven't done one in a while, and it's summer. Things are wrapping up at school with the kiddos, and it's time to kind of look and see how we can nourish ourselves mentally and intellectually. So book club. There are several different options. It's a very wide spectrum of options. So look at that. Let me know. Again, you can select multiple books. You can make multiple selections. Pick as many as you like. Put a different book in the comment section. But this is really just for me to be able to gauge where you guys are at. What's of interest to you guys, so that I'm making sure that I'm providing the right information to you. So today, we're going to talk about balance, and this has come up. This is another thing that has come up for clients, for friends. I'm seeing it a lot, and I think that as we transition, and there are certain times of the year that we're in transition, right? And this is one of them. We're transitioning from the school year into the summer months. I know this is really crazy. Our kids are wrapping up school on May 24th. Is that the day? Yeah, they're wrapping up school already on May 24th. And then we're transitioning into summer. And I know that even if you guys, hey Alexis, even if you guys don't get out until, mid-June, this is that transition time, right? Where we're transitioning from a lot of structure to a lot of craziness and vacations and holidays and all of that. Yes, right? So one of the things that I hear a lot, and I saw one of those funny meme things about how you can't do, like, it'd be impossible to do it all. Like, you'd have to drink all the water and do the meditations and do the yoga and eat healthfully and make sure that your kids have everything in their backpack. And if you literally did every single thing that they tell you need to do to nourish yourself, fulfill yourself, you wouldn't have enough time in the day, right? It would be a full-time job and you still not be able to get it all done. And that's when we have to take a step back and remember what balance really is. Balance isn't, trying to do all of the things in equal amounts of time, right? It's not like, oh, I need to do this for 10 minutes, this for 10 minutes, this for 10 minutes, and then I'll feel balanced. No, you'll feel crazy because you're trying to get it all done. And it's not like in the nutrition world, it's not, well, I ate that pizza for lunch, so I'm going to have salad for dinner because that's balance. Balance is something that we have to step back from and look at as a whole, right? And it's fine that you're on here, Alexis, because we've talked about this before. The other day, I was just kind of praying, meditating, whatever you want to call it. And I had this message bubble up, and it was really talking about getting underneath it, right? Getting underneath something. And this is what Alexis was saying. She goes, I love that, because when you're getting underneath something, you're looking at it from an entirely different angle. Most people say look at it from the big angle, right? But you're looking at underneath it and what's really important. What's the root of everything? What's really important? And here, balance doesn't mean doing all the things. Balance doesn't mean making up for wrongs, right? A lot of times when we talk about balance in terms of nutrition. Hey, Stacy, balance in forms of nutrition. We talk about, if I eat pizza at lunch, I have to have a salad for dinner because I have to make up for that poor choice, right? It's all about balance. Or if I eat that cheesecake, I'm going to have to balance it out by going running. Or if you're at the gym, you're like, well, now that I've earned it, I can have cheesecake or whatever it is, or now that I've earned it, I can go out for nachos or whatever it is, right? And that's what we call balance. But the thing about balance is it's none of those things. Balance is actually about how you can lean into alignment. Balance has nothing to do with doing all of the things all of the time. It has everything to do with tapping into where are you right now? Like, what are you doing right now? What's going on in life right now? And then how can you balance it so that you're in alignment? Not so that you're doing all the things or you're doing everything right. That's not it. But how can you balance life so that you're in alignment? So if things are super chaotic, right? Then how can you balance the chaos with a little more peace, right? If you're super stressed at the office, like beyond stressed, how can you balance that stress with soul nourishing practices so that stress doesn't leave you chronically stressed, which we know chronic stress, chronically high levels of cortisol cause us to become inflamed in the inside of our bodies, for us to be uncomfortable, for us to, not want to fall asleep at night because of the high cortisol levels. All of these things happen because, and we're fatigued. That's the thing, is like we're exhausted, but then we can't even sleep because of the high cortisol levels. So that's what I'm talking about today, is how can we use balance not to make up for things that we've done, not to do all of the things, but to get us back into alignment, to literally lean back into alignment. Because the more that we go through life in alignment, right, with our true authentic self, the more that we are going through life in alignment, the more joy, the more peace, the more freedom we get to experience. And that's the best part, is that we get to experience this unbelievable amount of joy when we are in alignment. I've been doing a lot of research lately. I don't know if it's just my personality or what, or the way that I'm designed, but I've been doing a lot of research lately, and I get into these periods of time where all I do is just sink myself into, subject matters, and I go very, very deep into them. And the more that I started doing research this last go around, the more I started thinking about alignment and what that looks like for all of us. And it looks so different for every single person, kind of like your nourishment blueprint. You being in alignment with your true authentic self is going to look completely different than somebody else. But the one universal truth in all this is that if we're leaning into joy, then that is a big indicator that you are in alignment. Because our bodies, our personhood, they weren't designed to feel uncomfortable. We were designed to be these joyful, vibrant, full of life people. So if we're not there, that is a big emotional red flag. When don't you do research? Exactly, Stacy. This is my whole life. I remember being little and and researching things. And I remember when the internet came out, like, this is sad, but like, I remember when the internet came out and was like a thing. I thought it was the coolest thing in the entire world, that you could literally just put something in, like a word, and then all of this information would pop up. So yeah, that's kind of funny. But okay, so Stacy always gets me distracted. Okay, so the thing about it is, our physical, when we hurt physically, and my Nourish Life guys, I've been putting together next week's information and stuff and getting it all on there. And I'm so excited about it. And so that's why I want to share this one little tidbit, this one little nugget from their course materials. But this is the thing. So let's just talk about when we're experiencing something physically, right? That physical symptom allows us to understand what's going on the inside, right? But like our physical body. So like if you all of a sudden have some sort of horrific pain in your bottom right stomach, then that's a big red flag to go to the doctor that you may be having appendicitis, right? If you have a cut on your arm, that's a big red flag. Your body's going to experience pain. It's a big red flag that you need to take care of that. You need to, put medication on that or whatever you want to do with it so that it can heal, right? And then usually you are a little bit more careful with that area, clean it out, all that good stuff, right? Because you want it to heal. It's a big, sign, I guess you could say, a big signal that needs to heal. The thing about emotions, we don't like to tap into them because we don't know how to tap into them. And it's kind of scary because we've never really learned how to use the emotions, right? We've never really learned how to feel and to know that it would be okay and that you'll get to the other side of that feeling. A lot of us are really scared of emotions, especially negative emotions, because we were taught to kind of stuff them in and put on a smiley face and go after the world, right? And now we know that we need to feel them. Okay, so now we know this, but holy crap, that's scary because if I start feeling them, what's going to happen to me, right? Am I going to get to the other side? And the truth is, you will. But this is what's really interesting about emotional intelligence and leaning into this emotional understanding is that it's a big red flag. It's a big signal to the fact that you are not in alignment. If you are experiencing negative emotions, you are not in alignment. That's like the big red flag. Also, if you are experiencing joy and happiness and all of these positive emotions, then you are in alignment. That's what's so incredible about it. And this is allowing you, these are big signals that are telling you where you are at in alignment. So if you are feeling amazing and you're feeling so much joy and so much peace in your life right now, take a big look at what's going on in life, right? Take a big look at what is happening because that needs to keep happening. That means that you're in alignment. That means everything is going well and you're feeling good about it. On the flip side, if you are feeling resentful, if you are feeling disappointed, if you are feeling, uncomfortable or, kind of crispy and just not in a good mood or whatever, that means that you're not in alignment with who you really are. Everything going on around you is not in alignment with who you really are, right? And so that's when you start really evaluating, just like with the positive emotions, you start really evaluating what is going on that's not working for me. And then there are times where, situations happen, right? There are times when we lose family members. There are times when our, children are sick and we're at the hospital and we're confused because we just can't figure out what's going on. And that's not necessarily the fact that you're not in alignment. It's just something that, you're experiencing right now. But if you are disappointed or you're resentful or you're bitter or you're frustrated with something, really take a good look and see what that's all about. Because if you can figure out what's causing that emotion, then you can figure out what you need to do to get back into alignment. Then you can figure out why that emotion isn't in alignment with who you are, right? So if I'm like, hey, I'm feeling really bitter about this, I don't even know why I'm feeling bitter, but I'm really, just not feeling this person right now. They are getting on my everlast nerve. What is triggering that? That's when you start thinking, okay, what's triggering that, right? What's triggering that response in me? Is it a mirror thing where they're showing me something that I need to address myself? Are they doing something that I actually do, and I need to take a good hard look at that and make my own adjustments? Or is that something that's triggering some sort of, past experience that I have never really fully dealt with? Do I need to do some forgiveness work? Whatever it is, but really take a hard look at it and then do the head and heart work, right? We always talk about head and heart work. Then do the head and the heart work and get back into alignment. Because I don't know, like everybody has different, views of spirituality and religion and faith and all that. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, like, I don't think God designed us to struggle. I don't think God designed us to be miserable human beings. I don't think God designed us to live small and not put ourselves out there. And so if you're doing that, if you're living small, if you're not fully in alignment, then we have to get you back into alignment so that you can live the life that you were supposed to live. You can live the life that you were created to live. And that's all about balance, right? But balance in the sense of leaning into ease, leaning into connection, leaning into faith, leaning into love, leaning into I'm trying to think of all the ones I could think of, but leaning in to the good stuff, right? Leaning into the stuff that feels peace filled, right? And leaning out of that struggle, because the struggle isn't who you are, not deep down. And that's one more thing. So I hear that a lot. I'm struggling. And yesterday I had this big aha moment, or maybe it was this morning, whatever. I had this big aha moment. I was making my bed. So it's probably this morning. No, it was yesterday morning. Whatever. It doesn't matter, but I have to be right. You aren't struggling. You're navigating. So even just that flip of a word, think about what that does inside of you, right? So when we're struggling to be balanced, struggle, right? When we're navigating to come into balance, it feels very different. It feels completely different. Struggle means that we're going against ourselves, right? We're pushing, we're pulling. Navigating means we're literally just moving in and out until we get to where we need to be in alignment. So also your language, think about your language when we're coming into balance. Are we going to choose struggle, or are we going to choose to navigate an obstacle, navigate a challenging situation, navigate a hard time that we're having? Instead of it being a struggle, we're navigating this, right? We're navigating it back into balance. Does that make sense, guys? Or am I like totally crazy? Let me know. Man, I'm thirsty today. And I had bar class today, and I promised a friend I would do this afternoon too. So I'm going to be super thirsty. I need to hydrate. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the way I look at suffering is it's a part of growing as a soul, showing that you're strong, that you can survive things, you're valued and needed in this world, that your story will help someone else. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Yeah. But, so this is what I was thinking. Okay, so you're right. Because a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Yes. Absolutely. We are a product of all of our experiences, right? And one of the things that I remind my kids on a regular basis is I have very intelligent children, super intelligent children, and they are knowledgeable, but they do not hold the same amount of wisdom, right? And the wisdom comes from life experiences and learning how to navigate all those life experiences. And that's something that we just can't know. We have to gain. The only thing that I would encourage you to think about is what if it wasn't a suffering, right? What if we switched the language, Stacey? What if it wasn't suffering? What if it was a challenge that we were navigating? So it's not that like we're suffering, we're being challenged to grow, right? We're getting put into a situation and challenged to grow and evolve and become more of who we are. And that's the thing, is challenging situations, it always gives us such a huge amount of insight into who we really are. Because let's just speak very like honestly and candidly, we never know how we will respond to a situation until we are actually put into that situation, right? So we don't know how we're going to show up. We don't know who we truly are in every situation until we're put into that situation. We have an idea of how we think we would interact, or we think we would, I would say behave, but you know what I mean, not behave, but we think we would respond to that situation, but we never truly know until we're in it. We never truly know until we have to show up, stand up, and be in that situation, navigating it. So, yeah, I think that we definitely, those situations, those tough, challenging situations help grow us and evolve us. And those are those situations that we gain a tremendous amount of wisdom. Um, and you're right, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. So looking at those challenging situations and saying, what is it that I'm supposed to learn from this? Because this is a learning opportunity, right? Learning more of who you are. And the more you know, the more you come into alignment, right? With who you really are. So that's absolutely so true, Stacey. Like, I'm glad you brought that part of it up too. And it does show that you're strong. It shows that you can handle anything. And so that next situation that you come into, because you know yourself so much more, because you're so much more into alignment with who you truly are, you're able to show up, faster, easier. It's not so hard because you're in it, you know it, and you have that wisdom to tap into, that past experience wisdom. Makes sense? Hope so. So stop using the word balanced to say that you have to do all the things and stay balanced and keep up. Sometimes balance is about, so the real true definition, let's just like reframe, the true definition of balance, or my definition of balance, is to lean back into alignment, right? Come back into alignment. That's balance to me. Not eating salad because you ate a slice of pizza. That's not balance. Balance is coming back into alignment. Two, you don't have to do all the things to live a balanced life. The other day I posted that picture, two different pictures, right, of me in the same dress 7 years later. I was as shocked as you guys were that I could, that I came back into balance, back into alignment, with a weight and a size that feels really comfortable to me. So balance doesn't mean that you do everything every single day. Balance means that as eventually it all shakes out and you're back to your center. And balance means always coming back to the center, always coming back to the center of who you are, always coming back to that center of what feels good and what feels comfortable for you. Not trying to keep up doing all the things and making sure that you do 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of this, so that you're completely balanced. There are going to be days when, you do a lot of self-care. There's going to be a day where it's just not happening because it was just a crazy day, right? The day my mom had a heart attack, I didn't do any self-care that day. I didn't do self-care for 2 or 3 days because I was really busy doing what needed to be done. But balance doesn't necessarily mean you have to do every single thing every day. It means that you always find your center. You always come back into alignment. So I hope this message serves you as much as it did me. This was something that I've been thinking about a lot. And Stacey, you're right. I'm always doing research, but the last 2 weeks I've really plunged full force into more research. So sometimes when I do that, I get a little too focused, and I kind of step back a little bit from the Nourish Mama, and then I come back with a loads of more. So that's balance too, right? Not doing everything every day, but at the same time, always coming back. Some days balance is doing nothing, like taking a rest day or dropping something that's just too much. Exactly. That's balance, because balance is about balancing out stress and peace, right? It's about balancing out frustration and joy. It's not necessarily about balancing out, like, well, I did 3 hours of self care, so now I can do 3 hours of work. If it was like that, that would be really easy, but it's not. Oh boy, now you're talking to me. Oh, I'm so glad, Debbie. Yes. Yes, because I know you've been super stressed out. Debbie's a client of mine. You've been super stressed out about balancing and doing all the things, and you're not the only person this week that has been frustrated by this. There's a lot of people, including friends, not just clients, but friends. Like, it just feels like a very stressful week for a lot of people, and everybody's trying to do the balancing, and balance doesn't work. I found my center this morning by attending my first yoga class. Woohoo! That's exciting. I know you posted it, but I didn't know if you actually did it. That's awesome. I'm so glad you loved it. I like yoga. I haven't taken yoga in a really long time because I've been doing bar, but I really love yoga. I should do that at home, like on a video, because that's something that I could actually do myself. I don't need to be in a class. That's awesome. So, Debbie, that is your center. You found so much joy in it and you loved it. And the thing about it, when we experience something and we're like, man, I loved it, that means that is in alignment with who you are. That is going to nurture you. That is going to help grow you, and help you become more you and stay more you, right? Because that's true too. Like, life is all about knocking us out of alignment, and it's about getting back into it. So this could be your thing. If you really truly loved it, this could be your thing, getting you back into alignment, and that's amazing. So I would figure out, how can I, this may be we were talking about this the other day, but non-negotiables. This may be one of your non-negotiables. Maybe you decide 2 days a week or 3 days a week, I'm going to do yoga, and that's going to be a non-negotiable. No matter what happens, I'm going to do those things 3 days a week, because that helps me be more me, right? That helps me show up better. So yes, I love it, Debbie. I'm so excited for you. How fun. If I remember right, it was outside too, which is awesome, because that helps ground you and connect you with nature and God and spirituality and all that kind of stuff. That's awesome. But maybe I was wrong. Was it outside, Debbie? I don't know. I was just going to look for your comment to see if it was. That's the only problem, is there's a slight delay in the comment section, so I don't know. Yep, my bus route has changed. First time in 11 years, and starting a new course full time for 2 weeks, plus my other course. Plenty of stress, been knitting and walking a lot to cope. Yeah. So, Stacy, what's stressful about the bus change? I know, like, first time in 11 years, but what's stressful about it? Are you having to walk further, or? See, yeah, and it was a gorgeous day. And then, you know what I noticed, Debbie? Not only did you do the yoga, I didn't realize you had taken the yoga, but you had posted all those beautiful pictures of how, like, lovely and gorgeous your morning was, and all the animals and the chickens, and you could tell that you were filled with joy for your morning. Compared to yesterday morning, we're like, I'm really stressed out. Nothing seems to be going right. So yeah, that made a big difference. It helped ground you, and it helped you set those intentions, and yeah, it just set your whole day up for a brighter, lighter, more peace and joy-filled day. That's amazing. So Stacy, yeah, I don't know. I know you probably commented, but it's not in here yet. Starting a new course. Okay, so also, Stacey, you've started new courses, which is awesome. And I know it's also stressful, but I want you to consider this. Because I know you're super into stuff like this. When you're starting to get stressed about it, what is it doing for you? Right? Investing in this course, what are you going to get out of it? And remember the why. Remember why you're doing this. Remember, what this course is going to do for you, so that you are getting into, alignment. And then think about it. Is this course going to bring you, closer to alignment, or is it going to bring you further away from alignment? So if you feel like it's bringing you out of alignment, not because it's challenging you, but because it's just not for you, then maybe you look at that. But if it's bringing you closer into alignment or closer into alignment, what are you going to do? Or remember what it's doing for you. Yoga, I prefer doing at home in my underwear. That's hilarious. However, I enjoy, yeah, you might have to do it at home if you're going to do it in your underwear. However, I enjoy meditation, walking meditation. Yeah, change the routine, can upset my anxiety. They've cut off stops near college, doctors, dentists, job center. Oh, man. Yeah. So one of the things that I do with my my daughter, she's got anxiety, and we do worst case, best case, most likely. So worst case on the routine, best case, most likely. And it helps put it in perspective a little bit. Yeah, it's funny, right, Debbie? You can't be doing meditation outside in your garden in your underwear, but you could definitely do that in your house. It's funny, my daughter, she did not want to get, my 3-year-old did not want to get dressed today, and she's standing there in her underwear and no shirt. And so finally I told her, I said, it's going to be really embarrassing when I put you in the car in just your panties and that's how you go to school. And she was like, and then she got dressed, and I think that there was a little fear that I might actually do that, which I wouldn't. But it was really funny because she was like, okay, I'm going to get dressed now. It's like she had this little click moment of oh yeah, that would be embarrassing. So yes, I think that might help Stacy with the anxiety of changing stops. What's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? What's most likely? Most likely it's just a change in the routine, right? And what can you get out of it? So if they've cut off stops, are you going to have to walk a little longer? Or do you get to walk a little longer? One course is for ECDL, which is a standard thing for admin jobs, but I kind of enjoy the thing. The new course is a customer service and health and social care, so I can go into mental health care, decide it. Woo! Ooh, I just got goosebumps. Stacy, that's incredible. Yes. So this isn't, so as much as it is stressful, it's exciting. And maybe it just requires a reframe. Instead of it being stressful, it being exciting, right? This is so exciting. And you just keep telling yourself, this is so exciting. Because it's the same type of energy, excitement and nerves. It's the same type of energy. It's just reframing it from that negative to a positive. And I'm all about experiencing feelings and emotions, right? That's kind of what I do. But I also think it's really important, especially with anxiety. And I know one of my sisters has anxiety. My daughter has it. And my sister has it quite severely. So I know this world. But reframing it to this is so exciting. I am finally living my dream. I found my purpose. I'm living this. This is such an amazing opportunity. And Stacy, I'm sure because you're in the UK that this is an opportunity that's probably not going to, cost you financially as much as it would here in the States. You know what I mean? But there's so many blessings in this, and really focusing on the blessings and the excitement. Because like I said, it's the same energy. It's just shifting it into the positive. I'd be walking further and only getting off at one stop for everything. Okay, it's hurting my back. The road isn't the best quality, but it's quicker. Yeah. So yeah, just reframe. Because it is disappointing, but what can you do to make that situation work for you, right? How can you come back into alignment? It all comes back to how can you come back into alignment? And how can this work for you? Okay. All right, ladies. Well, I am going to hop off. I've got some work to do, and then I've got a doctor's appointment, and then I've got bar class. I've got all kinds of things this afternoon. So I will hop off, but let me know if you need anything. Again, the polls are up. Book club. There are several books on there. Also, if you have an incredible book that you think would be amazing for book club and it's not on the list, put it in the comment section. This isn't going to be our last book club. So, you know, we'll take as many ideas as you guys can give. Second, what's the next mini series that you guys want to see? I want to make sure that I'm putting out the information that's super helpful for you. And I have my own ideas, but I want to make sure that they're tailored to something that really serves your needs right now. So look at those polls. You can select as many as you want. So on each poll, you can select as many as you want. And then even in the mini series, if you have another idea or something that you like have been really questioning or you're not quite certain on and you want some guidance on and it's not on the list, put it on the list, because again, this isn't the only mini series that we're going to do. We're going to do tons of them. So having ideas that come from you guys really help me out to make sure that I'm giving you what you need. Honestly, aiming to go full circle to become a high intensity worker scares me. The getting the jobs, managing the question, trying to engage. So the fear of failure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But that's the thing is what we have to realize is that's completely normal. Having fear of taking that leap is 100% normal. But at the same time, we have to do some things with fear. And it's hard when we have anxiety. I know this. But like I'll tell my daughter, like we're gonna be scared and we're gonna do it, right? We're gonna be scared and at the same time we're gonna do it, because it doesn't have to be either or. I'm scared, I'm not gonna do it, right? It can be I'm scared and I'm still doing this thing. I think that's a little bit more helpful. But yeah, it's completely normal to be scared. I was terrified when I left corporate America and I started my own business. Of course, it's scary, especially in a business like this where you're putting all of your vulnerabilities out there. You're putting everything that you typically keep private and you're putting it out there for the world to see. It's scary. But I have to say, the more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you put into it, the easier it will get. And the more that you prove to yourself, Stacy, that you have this, that you can do this, that this is your purpose. And what I find is the more that we get in alignment with our true, authentic self, the more that we get in alignment with our purpose, the easier, not that it's easy, but the easier it is to accomplish that goal, right? If you're choosing something because someone told you that you'd be really good at it, not so much. But if this is your divine purpose, this is what you were put on this earth to do, then it is easier to be successful at it and get into alignment. So yes, do this, Stacy. I'm so excited for you. And think, I'm excited, right? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to hop off, but I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know if you guys need anything and put your answers on the polls. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Bye, guys.